Oh, you've got mocha in there.
I do.
Hello. Hello. You're hearing a whiny dog in the background. That's beautiful mocha. Hi, everybody. Little did we know we're going live with Julie and Catherine and Mocha.
I know. I'm going to actually open my door behind me. So
It's
hey,
okay.
you're
It's
a
okay.
boy.
Hi, everybody. Thank you
This
so
is
much for
fun.
popping
This
on.
is fun. There you go.
We are in downtown Toronto. I'm just trying to get myself organized here in terms of the middle. Downtown Toronto. I'm in the distillery district of the very famous distillery district now with the
Mhm.
winter festive market that's happening.
There is.
And Julie is in the west end of Toronto.
Yes.
So here we are. So I'm so grateful that you've popped on. And there we are again. But that's okay because he wants to say something
He
because it's
does.
about
Yeah.
gender bias in
Yeah.
the network marketing
He does. He
space.
wants his input. Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's kind of provocative, right? Like it's a really controversial conversation, and it really stemmed from a discussion Julie and I had about maybe a week ago because you posted something I thought was very brave and very open-minded, open-hearted to really be curious without any judgment or preconceived notions at all.
Yeah.
Really, I'm trying to understand this notion of network marketing and what that means to men and what it means to women. And you asked this great question, and it kind of opened the Pandora's box, which I think is really interesting conversation. Can you tell me more about what that process was for you and what you discovered in
Yeah.
response from
I
that question?
I love it. So I think the bigger picture and why I came to it, it is because we have these discussions all the time, Catherine,
Hmm.
about network marketing and MLM and why it has such a negative connotation. Why, when you're two open-hearted people with a wonderful track record, with wonderful friends, all of a sudden you bring that up and you feel like a pariah.
Mm.
Like, that's what I was feeling. So I really want, and I've been in this, I'm a proud network marketer and have been for a decade. And it I'm at the top 2% of my company. I love it. I work hard at it. I know it's effort based,
Hmm.
but I am proud sharing it with people.
Hmm.
So my question really is why does it make people's skin crawl when you bring it up with, like you said, with zero expectation wrapped around it, just
Hmm. Hmm.
education, really.
Right.
And as I'm sitting and ruminating, and really that was my question, why why the negative connotation? Where does it come from? Where does the bias come from? Why just why really the curiosity of it and really just
Hmm.
wanting to have an open, honest, hard conversation with people, right? And it takes bravery on everyone's part to get into,
True.
as we know, in the world we live in 2021. A lot of people are scared of confrontation. It's a tough
Mm.
thing. um, but I just wanted to know where it came from and why
Hmm.
it made people icky. And in the searching for that, in that, a beautiful friend of mine who is in women's studies, she reached out to me and in my inbox and said, I truly believe it's gender based.
Mm.
And that was not even on my radar,
Hmm.
thinking that it was gender based, because she brought up some really great points about, because look, just even before we got on here, I was looking at something on the Huffington Post. It was posted in 2019 about, and the headline was MLMs are a nightmare for women, right? Saying, and that is the whole thing. Like, MLMs, network marketing, they prey on women. They prey on the housewife. They prey on stay-at-home moms. So if you're listening to this, I think Catherine and I would love a dialogue,
Hmm.
because I can't imagine the Huffington Post or anyone saying they prey on men. Ooh, network marketing preys on poor men, the
Poor vulnerable men,
poor vulnerable stay-at-home dads,
stay-at-home dads, yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
I would love for this conversation to move forward.
Mhm, mhm. Because I think, and this is a Pandora's box, because it's
Yeah.
not just network marketing is actually, that conversation is just a reflection of this systemic sexism and double standard in our societies around women who are taking ownership of their lives.
Yes.
Because it's not just the patriarchy. It's the patriarchal system that we all have bought into, women included. And so we automatically presume that the woman who is didn't work in the network marketing, it didn't happen for them, that they were a victim of it.
Yes.
And we are not victims. Like
Right.
the moment we step into our power, whether it's network marketing or whether we want to stay at home with our kids or whether we want, we're not an excuse. We don't ask for, we are not apologetic. We're not asking for permission to exist. And I think that's where I kind of get frustrated, because I hear some stories about women who say, that I was preyed on. And so, but how? Like, it's not like you're in an isolated a refugee camp in Rwanda where your child is dying of HIV and you have no choice. I mean, I
Right.
don't mean to be harsh in that conversation, but we are not infants. We're not children. We are in a free society where we have choice.
Yeah.
And you can choose to say no. You can choose, I want my money back. You can
Yeah.
choose to get a refund. You can choose just to use the products and get the discount. You can say, whatever. You can say, I don't want to have inventory. Nobody's asking you to do inventory. You have to do your due diligence and your research into the company that you want to align yourself with,
Yes.
and also do the work. Like, if you honestly think because the registration is so low that that's going to be reflecting of the effort you put into it, then you're mistaken. It's still work. You still have to work your butt off.
Yeah.
And there's choice in our lives, and I think that's where I get, and I maybe I'm not opening the door to discussion. Maybe it's just me giving my opinion, and that's not really what I want to do, is have this kind of conversation. But we truly would never say that to a man. You are being we're predators
Yeah.
to a man,
Yeah.
but it's because they're female.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they have predators around them. Like, we know as a culture, as women, we have been raised to think that men are predators, unfortunately,
Mhm.
subconsciously, consciously. And I have a young man who's my son who has to debunk that. And
Yeah.
we have married men in our lives who are not that. And there are many wonderful men out there. But we are raised to go, you can't walk alone at nighttime. You have to look at all your surroundings. Like,
Yeah.
we've been raised to believe that we're prey and that there's predators around us. So that when a female
Yeah.
businesswoman
Mhm.
says to you, do you want to hook arms with me and I can help you build your online health and wellness business?
On your own.
On
You
your
don't need
on
a
your own.
man. You don't need
No.
a man to save
Just
you. You don't need a man
no.
to swoop in. You don't
No.
need to marry a man to, like, income split, or I'm doing this on my own. You're
Right.
doing this on your own. Like, we may have wonderful partners in our lives who we also build other businesses with, but there was no asking my husband for permission to do
Mm-mm.
this, you
Well,
know?
today
Mhm.
I'm an acting coach, and we have an acting coaching business, my husband
Yes.
and I. And he had to rearrange his schedule for another client come in because I was doing this live, and the only
Right.
place I could do it was here in this time.
Mhm.
So he rearranged it. It's figure outable. Like,
Yes.
there's no power. There's no higher ups and lowers. There's no. It's actually, it can be quite terrifying when a woman stands into her power. And I think, and other women find it threatening,
Yeah.
and other men find it threatening. And then you have to find your people that don't find it threatening. There should be no fear, because we're in the mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. There's
Yeah.
no either or, there's no hierarchy, there's
Yeah.
no I'm above, you're below.
Yeah.
There's just you do you. And if you're not breaking the law, you're good.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I
You're
don't,
on your own trajectory.
right.
And like there's no I think that's the that not I think I know that is the big thing. Like the scarcity of it.
Hmm.
Like really we know what this business, what this the ethos of our business, this template, what this can do for people, whether it be a woman or a man.
Right.
So
Or whoever, however you identify yourself,
exactly, however you
whatever, non-binary.
non-binary,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Thank
Right.
you, Catherine.
Yeah.
But I think the that's sometimes I think that that's where it stems from, that people want to keep you in your place.
Hmm.
Like heaven forbid you break out of that box. You glass ceiling, what? Like, there's and like you said, it will be challenging. It will be hard.
Yeah.
This does not follow that graduate high school, post secondary, get some work experience, work for 40 years, retire on a pension. Like this looks much different.
Hmm.
And that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
And I think the roller coaster of it and how it's not so paint by numbers, that can be triggering for people.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
but I really how we started this, and I think it should be an ongoing conversation
Yeah.
that is the gender bias around network marketing slash MLM a thing?
Yeah.
Because
Is it? Is it
according
a thing?
is it a thing? According to the Direct Selling Association, 3/4 of the people are women.
Hmm.
Um, so think about that. Think about, you know, the whole victim mentality and, we prey on women like they can't take care of themselves. What? What?
They raise children. These stay-at-home moms that they're victims of
Yeah,
are in a badass job of raising kids. Like, how can you honestly say they're a victim?
yeah. The
They're not.
balls that they have in the air that they're keeping alive is
They're
astounding.
amazing.
Yes,
Stay-at-home moms who have a network marketing business rock on.
right.
Like, they are extraordinary.
And then
So,
yeah, as I was reading this, like I was thinking, this whole sort of like predatory thing, is it because, you know, you're preying on a mom because and I'm not a mom, so I
mhm,
can't answer this. You can. Um,
mhm,
as a woman who maybe has left a career and is now a mom,
mhm,
she feels like she's lost some of herself.
mhm,
So
mhm,
she's trying to
mhm.
find herself again
Yeah,
by saying yes to one of these businesses.
yeah,
But isn't that's positive,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, I see that as a
yeah,
positive thing.
right. So I think there's something in that though. Like, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
When you have lost your identity, like, definitely as a mom, I turned down 7 acting jobs, so I was no longer an actor,
right,
right?
right,
And I was this mom where this child is taking, literally, physically taking every juice of my body,
right.
right?
Yeah,
And I didn't have any money. Like, I had no maternity benefits, so there was that. So
yeah,
I was emotionally vulnerable and financially vulnerable. And
yeah,
I remember I wanted to stay at home with my baby. Like, I wanted to be with Karen as much as it scared me.
yeah,
Um, but I actually was looking for a business that I could do online and be home with my baby. So I was looking for something like that. And our company wasn't around in Canada at the time.
yeah, yeah.
But I understand the emotional vulnerability around it.
Right.
And when you're like, it again, it has to come down to you about not trying to be saved.
Yeah.
Because I think if you come from the mindset, and I'm not saying this to shame, blame, judge, or criticize anybody who had a bad experience, because some do have bad experiences
Oh,
with
for
network marketing
sure.
companies,
Yeah,
because the ethics or the person who presented it to them was inappropriate
yeah.
or was manipulative of the
Height,
emotional
looking on height.
vulnerability.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. So let's on that particular thing.
Yeah,
Whereas I think with men who are stay at home, they may be vulnerable in the sense of like guys don't really stay at home with their kids, but
yeah,
there's still a society that still supports them to have a business or move on. So that may not be that element to it. So, like it's accountability, I think, on both sides of how the individual honors that person who is feeling vulnerable
yeah,
emotionally,
yeah.
who also is looking for something that's going to give them value and meaning in their life again.
Yes.
Because it's not about money, really, because money is money and money is what it is.
Yeah,
It's about having a sense of purpose of yourself. Because we do have sense of purpose when we're moms, for
yeah.
sure. And like I was known as Kieran's mom for like 15 years. I
Of
didn't have a first
course.
name.
Yeah, right.
Right, right. So I think there is that level of who am I in this? And if you don't have and when it's a business for yourself and not by yourself, and you're trying to figure out who you are again, that could be a little daunting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because you still want to be told it's going to work or you're still going to be in the mindset of if I sign up for this, they'll make it happen for me because I'm so vulnerable in other ways. So I think it's maybe breaking down that thought process and say, look, you're vulnerable it is. I know that this could work for you. However, you are in business for yourself. I'm not going to be your best friend. I'm
mhm,
not going to be your BFF. This isn't a mommy's group. This is a
mhm,
business opportunity. You
mhm.
will learn tons about yourself and personal growth and development. Like we all know with entrepreneurialism, that's like the cornerstone of anything that's being successful.
Yeah,
And that's the side business. Like you end up becoming a better parent.
yes,
That's the brilliant part of it.
yes,
I've learned so much as my 20-year-old has taught me. It's a totally
yes,
different form of parenting now. But I think that there is something in a conversation. I think the person who's proposing the business opportunity to them to be really mindful of that emotional vulnerability that person's, particularly women who had careers before, who had this real strong sense of who they were or not,
yeah,
um, like I think that's where the integrity has to come back in and the authenticity of the person who is proposing the opportunity and in an open conversation and be willing to know when you're a network marketer if that person's not ready or if you can sense in them that it is a vulnerable place for them, you don't want them on your team anyway because it's not your place. It's like when I take an acting client in and it turns into a therapy session, I am not a therapist. I
right.
can't help them through that next stage. I'm there to coach them in their journey to book the part. It's the same thing when I work with a team member to build their business. I It's up to them to do that process. And not that you're not empathetic. I'm not saying you're a cold whatever that's
Yeah,
but you have to be mindful of human being and if they're ready to do this kind of thing. And if they're not, you might be saying to them, I don't know if you're ready for this right now.
yeah,
And have the integrity to do that.
totally. And I think you just showed us why you are successful
Mm,
in multiple businesses
right.
because
Thank you. Thank you.
it's true because you're authentic, you're okay with having the hard conversations,
Hmm.
right? You're honest, you wear your heart on your sleeve, yet you know that you're not someone's therapist. And
Right.
I think
And
that
not that they're asking for that. Like I don't want to say
no,
when we
no,
talk
no.
about women who are feeling vulnerable and that didn't work for them, that they were looking for a therapist. That's not it. But being mindful of their emotional and their vulnerability and what to have empathy, right? Like I think that's really important. It's because predators don't have empathy. They're looking at the outcome. They're looking
Exactly.
at the prey.
They are
So I
looking,
mean,
they are approaching people with dollar signs on their
yeah.
forehead.
And I think that's and I think we've covered like the two sides. One side of the person who is felt like they were prey and they were vulnerable, and then we looked at those people that are in our industry that aren't doing the most ethical
Yes.
behavior.
Yes.
So I think that is the beginning cornerstone of this well-rounded conversation of
Yes.
accountability, right?
Yes. Accountability on both sides.
Yeah.
Accountability, being honest, authentic, not for lack of a better word, not falling prey to the 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 what am I trying to say?
The
The
stereotype of
hookups.
the system.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
stereotypes for sure.
Like I have a team member, and I will be totally honest, won't mention, but is upset that a few of her clients or people that want to order something want only one part of the product, not the other part of the set.
Yeah.
And she says, I just don't understand. They're just not my people.
Oh,
Well, they're not asking to be your people.
no.
They just want to buy
They're
a
shopping.
lipstick.
They're shopping.
So why are you expecting them to be your people?
Yeah.
They're not your people.
No. No.
So it's again taking yourself out of the outcome. It's
Yeah.
not about you. You're
No.
here to solve a problem if they have a problem and give value, and that's it. And Gary Vee talks about it on LinkedIn all the time.
Yeah.
It's about the moment you make it about yourself and the outcome,
Yeah.
then you end up becoming a predator. That person feels preyed upon. They're
Exactly.
vulnerable. It becomes a big shit, excuse my language,
Yeah.
a poop storm.
Yeah.
And stay-at-home moms have seen enough poop. They don't want any more
Yeah.
poop. So like,
Exactly. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like make be kind and be
Ding, 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 ding.
respectful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kindness, empathy, respect.
And there are many different factions to gender in this industry, and I welcome more diversity,
Oh,
culturally
yeah.
as well as non-binary and
Yes.
different life experiences, age-wise too as well.
Absolutely. And we know, I think that's one of the beautiful things with this industry
Hmm.
is you're not going to age out or you're not, it truly is it's an open call
Yeah,
for all.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, my friend. I think it's the end of our time. I
All
want
right.
to thank everybody. This was a really kind of yummy, kind of juicy, kind of spicy conversation.
Totally. And if you're watching this,
Yeah,
join the conversation. Like,
yeah,
I think we don't know the answer. I
yeah.
think it was just like sort of a nugget that kind of stuck with both of us because we're very much into, wanting to debunk and,
And listen, and
listen and
listen.
raise the vibration of this industry, and listen and learn
Yeah.
always. Yeah. Thanks, Catherine.
Thank you, love. I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.